All right, what's up, guys? We got a six-game NBA slate to break down tonight, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it. As always, we'll do the normal routine. Let me go on my Twitter really quick. It's probably easier actually just go to Fantasy Labs because we did get do have some news to go over. All right, let's go back to the start of the day here. We got to go back a little ways. Some of this stuff pertains to tonight. Some of the stuff does not. Okay, I think. Yeah, so the big news here is the John Collins suspension, 25 games for anti-drug program. So him as well as DeAndre Ayton kind of in the same boat there. Trae Young will play, and we just got news he's going to be limited to 30 minutes. He was someone I was considering a lot for GPP, so I knew he's going to be lower owned. At a minutes limit of 30, it makes him even more risky now. Turner and Sabonis, they just both got ruled out, so we can get to some value plays here in a sec. Avery Bradley ruled out. They announced KCP going to start for him. I'll talk about a couple cheap Lakers guards that I think are playable. Obviously, the secondary pieces are all risky for the Lakers, but I think a couple value guys are in play. Knicks, that's for Wednesday. They announced their starting lineup. DWIGHT is currently listed as questionable. Let's see, Kuzma is going to have his minutes limit increased to 26 if he plays. I don't think we've gotten confirmation on that yet. 26 minutes, I still don't know if I want to go there for Kuzma yet. What else do we get? Otto Porter's good to go. Oh, yeah, okay. Kuzma available to play, so he's going to play about 26 minutes. I think he's okay. And then, yeah, Turner Sabonis got ruled out. So Jakar Sampson as well as Goga Bitzdey. Definitely botched at his pronunciation, but both those guys are starting. I like Goga, get him out there. Jabari Parker starting for the injured, or for the suspended John Collins, I should say. I do like Jabari Parker a good amount at 5K. I like he's small forward eligible as well. Yeah, I think he's going to be one of the more chalky plays in the slate, him and Goga. I definitely think are going to eat up a lot of ownership tonight. Again, Trae Young limited to 30 minutes. If he was not going to be on a minutes limit, I was definitely considering playing him. I still think you can play him. It just makes him a little more risky. Kevin Huerter is going to get bumped up to 30 to 35 minutes, so he's a value play for sure. He's in play for sure. And that's kind of what we got so far. Derrick White will probably give it a go. Chandler Hutchinson, we don't really have to worry about that. But yeah, that's kind of the news we got so far. So let's go team by team here. It is still kind of a smaller slate, and then we can get to questions at the end. So we'll start with Indiana. Again, the big news, no Sabonis as well as Miles Turner. So Goga will pick up the start. He played 19 minutes. He fouled out in that time. So there's obviously some foul trouble concern, but at 4K, I think he's one of the better, if not the best value plays on the board tonight. Just because we don't really have a whole lot of value, right? Like we had so much value last night. Tonight, not so much the case. I think Goga going to be one of the more popular plays. I think he's very safe with upside. Jakar Sampson picking up the start as well. He's a lower usage guy. Let's see if this ever loads. Come on, Draftkings. Hold on. I might have to refresh this maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to refresh. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 sec. And my internet is just not working here. There we go. Okay. Is that refresh now? Maybe not. Is it just my internet or is it DraftKings? Looks like it's just my internet. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we can get this up. I turned the internet off of my phone. Usually my internet's really good, so I'm a little surprised why it's being so slow here. Come on, man. There we go. Okay, back to it. Let's go to this slate. And we're talking about the Pacers. So, sorry about that hiccup. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. But, yeah, so I was talking about Jakar Sampson at 3K, the flat minimum. He's a lower usage guy. He's going to pick at the start. Probably play anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes, I guess. You can play him if you want to. Probably not going to be the way I go again. He's a lower usage guy. A guy who did play pretty well last game was TJ Leaf, but they priced him way up to 5K. I don't think I want to go there even with Sabonis and Turner back. I just much prefer Goga for $1,000 cheaper. So, yeah, I don't think we want to go TJ Leaf. He's known for another guy that's very, very low usage. I think that game kind of was an outlier. So, and it was against Chicago, really all bigs destroyed against Chicago. So, obviously, or really for me, it's Goga that gets the biggest boost. I think he's going to be really popular, but he seems to be one of the better value plays on the board. Now we talk about Malcolm Brogdon. I really like him tonight at 8.2K. It's just people are holding on to that, that bias of the Bucks Malcolm Brogdon, right? Like they don't like this is a completely different player. We saw at times last year, even with the Bucks, when they had injuries, when like Bledsoe was out or Middleton or Giannis, like he was really good. So again, I think people are still holding on to that, Malcolm Brogdon kind of lower usage playing alongside those higher usage guys in Milwaukee. But with the Pacers, he's a little underpriced right now, especially for this matchup. It's an up-tempo game here against the Hornets. He's honestly got triple-double upside. Like he hasn't had triple-double yet, but he's a guy that's getting rebounds. He's getting almost double-digit assists every single game. And this is the price tag's not coming up. So I really like him here as a play at 8.2K. Jeremy Lamb definitely viable as well at 6.1K. A revenge game narrative as well. He's going to play low to mid-30s minutes. And again, the matchup pretty good here. So both guards definitely viable. I think I prefer Brogdon for a little bit more, but I don't mind Lamb either. TJ Warren a little riskier here. He's just so scoring dependent. Like he literally has not been doing anything besides score. Like his rebound and assist numbers are like nothing. So like we saw in this game against Cleveland, if he's not scoring the ball, he can literally get you under 10 fantasy points. If he's scoring well, he can get you probably 30 to 35. So he's a more risky play. Not necessarily someone I would go to for cash games. Again, TJ Leaf, not super high end. I much prefer Goga. The really cheap pieces here, like Justin Holiday at 3.3K, is playable. Probably going to play low to mid 20s minutes. I guess at 3.3K doesn't have to do a whole lot. So I think he's viable as a cheap option, but that's really it. So let's move on to Charlotte. I got a Rozier at the top. I do like as a contrarian play tonight. He's going to play mid-30s minutes in a close game. He probably gets the toughest matchup of the of the Hornets with most likely Malcolm Brogdon guarding him. But still, he's the number one here on this offense. He's a guy that has been really aggressive here of late. He's been shooting 14, 17, 15, 17 times. He's filling up the stat sheet. So I kind of don't mind him there as a contrarian play. I think he goes a bit lower owned tonight. Cody Zeller's interesting here at 6.5K. The minutes went down to 20 in that last game against Golden State, which is a bit concerning. But the Pacers do like running big, so maybe the minutes bounce back for Cody Zeller to like 30 to 35. If I knew he was going to play those type of minutes, then I would like Cody Zeller a good amount. So slightly risky, but I think if he gets to the higher end of the minutes range, then I kind of like him there at 6.5K. PJ Washington, Devonte Graham, they're okay. Miles Bridges, these guys are all they're all just fine. No one I feel super, super great about. I guess Devonte Graham would probably be my other favorite Hornet, just because he's playing big minutes off the bench. They're playing him alongside Rozier, so I don't mind him there as a value play. So really for me, it's kind of Rozier, and then Cody Zeller and Devonte Graham for me. Again, Bridges, Bacon, PJ Washington, they're okay. If you really feel strongly about those guys, you can play them. but I don't have a super great feel about them. Let's move on to Boston. So there are some appealing plays here for Boston. We got Kemba at the top at 8.5K. So it's a tricky decision tonight with whether you're going to go Kemba, Malcolm Brogdon, or a guy like Trae Young. Personally, I'm leaning towards Malcolm Brogdon for a little bit cheaper, but Kemba seems to be in a good spot here too against the Cavs. It seems a little underpriced. So if you want to go Kemba over Brogdon, or you can play both too if you really want to, I do kind of like the upside there. And then Tatum and Hayward get a pretty big boost with no Jaylen Brown. They should be locked into like mid-30s minutes. The thing is, Tatum is priced about right here at 7.7K. I still think he has a little bit of upside, but he's not really the value that he was the last few games. Hayward seems slightly underpriced still. Again, he's a guy that's going to play mid-30s minutes, and I think he has 40, 50 fantasy point upside when he's having a good game. So it's close with Tatum and Hayward for me. I think I would slightly lean towards Gordon Hayward for the price savings, but it is close. I like both those guys kind of in the mid-range. Marcus Smart is just kind of a GPP play, really. The price is up now. Like, he's not the value he was a couple sites ago with like 4.5K. 5.7, I think he's okay. Only really like a GPP dart for me, really. So no Cantor. Robert Williams, I believe, is probable. Yeah, so he'll be back. So that should lower the minutes a bit here in Daniel Tice, but the Cavs do run big. So I think Tice and Robert Williams are okay plays, just not like great plays. I think if you need cheap guys, they're not bad. Again, they still do have Grant Williams as well. So yeah, I just think, Brad Stevens likes rotating those bigs. So yeah, no one really stands off the page as far as those Boston bigs, and that's kind of it. So let's move on to the Cavs. Cavs as a whole, I'm not super excited about. If I was going to play guys, it would just be Kevin Love or Tristan Thompson, but it's tough paying for Kevin Love when you got guys like Anthony Davis on the slate and LeBron and like those guards like Malcolm Brogdon and Kemba, and you got an underpriced Jokic, you got an underpriced LaMarcus Aldridge. So I think Kevin Love's priced about right. He kind of have a big game. Like, he has 50, 60 fantasy point upside in him. So again, if you feel really strong about him, you can go there. It's just probably not going to be the way I go on the slate. Tristan Thompson still seems, I guess, slightly underpriced for his level of production, but probably not going to be the way I go either. I just think there's better plays on the board tonight. So really, those two would be the only ones I would consider. I'm not even considering Sexton or Nance. Clarkson, he's priced up off the bench. I think he's priced about right. So really, there's no one besides those two bigs that I would even consider for the Cavs. So now we move on to the Spurs. A few very appealing plays here, in my opinion. Probably my favorite here is LaMarcus Aldridge. And if he's going to be low owned tonight, then I love it. Like, he's the cheapest we'll probably ever see him. And people are very recency biased. So they'll go off recent games. And obviously he hasn't been great the last 3 games. 18, 33, and 20. But this spot against Atlanta, it's just a great bounce back spot. He's going to be playing the center sometimes, but also the power forward spot. And when he's playing the power forward spot, he could be matched up against Jabari Parker, one of the worst defenders in the league. So I do like LaMarcus Aldridge a good amount. I think he's pretty safe. It's just the price is way too cheap. And I think people will be off him because of recency bias. But I really like the price tag here on Aldridge. One of my favorite plays of the day. You could go DeRozan too, both in a great spot here. DeRozan seems slightly underpriced as well. You can play both if you really want to. I think I would lean towards Aldridge, but both definitely in play. DeJounte Murray is only for GPPs, really. It's just because he's still on the minutes limit. Now, we've seen in 3 of the first 5 games, he's gotten over 40 fantasy points. So the upside is still there in limited time, but really only a GPP play for me. Rudy Gay is okay here at 5.2K. The minutes have been going up, and it's a good matchup. So he's a viable mid-tier play. Derrick White looks like he's going to be good to go, but you never really know with Popovich, so that would worry me a bit here. Guys like Bryn Forbes is never someone I really get to for DFS, but if you really need a cheap guy, he's going to play 25 or so minutes. It's a decent matchup, so another guy that's not out of play. And then cheap plays, don't mind Trey Lyles or Jakob Poeltl here. Again, the minutes have kind of been up and down on Lyles. If we get the high end, like the mid-20s, then he's a really good play. But we've also seen him get 13 to 14 minutes. So a risky play for sure, only for GPPs because the minutes have been so up and down. Jakob Poeltl, don't mind him. He's not going to play huge minutes, probably 15 or so, maybe a little bit more. But if you really, really need a cheap guy, it's a good matchup here against the Hawks. So both those guys are obviously a bit risky, but if they get the higher end of their minutes projection, I don't mind either Lyles or Jakob Poeltl as punt plays. But now let's move on to Atlanta. So really, Atlanta for me, it's Trae Young as a really risky GPP play because he's going to be limited to 30 minutes. Can he still get you there in 30 minutes? Of course he can. But there's obviously concern. It's not the best matchup either. So, again, only really for GPPs for me. DeAndre Bembry, I think he's very much in play here with no John Collins. I think he plays mid-20s minutes, maybe a little bit more. But the direct beneficiary really is Jabari Parker. Picking up the start, I think he's going to be one of the more chalky plays. Him and Goga, I think, are probably going to be the chalk tonight. But really, I mean, if he starts, I think he gets 30 or so minutes, maybe a little bit more. And he's just not priced to play like 30 or so minutes. So, yeah, I do like Jabari a good amount. And as far as like those secondary pieces like Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, they're just okay. With Trae Young back, I don't think I want to go there. People are talking about Alex Len and Bruno Fernando. I guess if you're going to make me pick between those two, I'd go Alex Len. But really, I think Jabari is the direct beneficiary there. I don't really think Atlanta will play Len and Bruno Fernando out there together a lot. So, yeah, I think those guys are just okay. Kevin Huerter's interesting here at 4.1K. His minutes, they said, are going to go up to 30 to 35. He's not like a super high usage guy, but if he gets 35 minutes, I think he's very viable as a cheap option. So, yeah, don't mind Huerter there at all. Again, Fernando, Alex Len, no one I feel super great about. And that's really it. So, in general, I think it's Jabari, probably my favorite play, followed by Bembry, and then a guy like Trae Young and GPPs, and I don't mind Kevin Huerter as a cheap option there. Next game, a kind of ugly one here, Orlando OKC. Very low over-under here. No one I'm super excited about. I mean, the prices on Aaron Gordon and Isaac are, they're underpriced for sure. So I think those guys are viable. Fournier's been okay too this year. It's just, you're just not going to get excited about these guys, really. I don't think any of these guys have super, super big upside in the slate. So, yeah, Fultz is viable. He's going to pick up the start, probably play 25 or so minutes. I think he's a pretty solid, cheap option here on the slate. Vucevic, I would look to him if Steven Adams misses. I don't think we have that news yet. But if Steven Adams does miss, then I think Vucevic could take advantage of Nerlens Noel or Mike Muscala. Again, the minutes kind of been all over the place on him, but he would be viable. I would consider him if Steven Adams does miss. But that's really it for Orlando. No one I'm super, super excited about. On the OKC side, SGA at 7K seems priced about right now for his level of production. He's playing big minutes. It's just tough for me right now, at least for roster construction. Like, I do like SGA, but I personally prefer Malcolm Brogdon for like an extra 1,000. So I think he's playable. It's just not really probably going to be the way I go on the slate. It is a tougher matchup as well. Chris Paul, the price tag just makes him in play here. He's been very up and down, but 6.6K is the cheapest I've seen in Chris Paul in a long time. So yeah, I don't hate the play. Gallinari too. It's just this game in general, like no one really sticks out the page besides a guy like Nerlens Noel if Steven Adams misses. Steven Adams is active. Did that just come out? Yeah, I think it just came out. So with him being active, that's obviously a hit to Vucevic. Steven Adams, a lot better defender, and that makes Nerlens Noel out of play. So yeah, in general, I'm not super high in this game. I would have probably locked in Nerlens Noel there if Steven Adams misses. But with him playing, it's just no one really feels like a standout play in this game. So that's kind of it for this one. Let's move on to the Lakers Bulls. So this one, there is definitely some fantasy appeal here. Definitely on the Lakers side as well. Bigs have just been destroying the Bulls this year. So obviously at the top, Anthony Davis seems to be in a crush spot here. Just know the risk, right? There's always like a 10% chance he leaves the game with an injury of some sort. So there's a little bit of risk anytime you play Anthony Davis, but this is a smash spot for him. I think 70, possibly 80 fantasy point upside if the game stays close. Now the concern is, again, can the Bulls keep this close? The Bulls have been not so good this year. So there's definitely some blowout risk. If the game stays close, I do love Anthony Davis. Same thing with LeBron. Both these guys have big upside. I think I would slightly lean towards Anthony Davis, but both definitely viable. Kuzma at 5.1K, they said, 26 minutes? So At 5.1 at 26 minutes, I think he's playable. I still probably prefer other plays, but yeah, 26 is definitely a little bit more, but I still think I'm going to lean for some other plays at least. Now, a guy like Dwight Howard is priced up at 5.1K. It is a great matchup, but I don't really like paying premiums for guys, so I'm a little torn here because I do want to play Dwight. It's a really good spot, but you're paying a premium. So again, I'm a little torn here on Dwight. No Rondo still. No Avery Bradley. That's kind of big news here. McGee, the minutes are just going down on him. If I knew he was going to play 20 to 25 minutes, then I don't really like him, but they've really been limiting his minutes with Kuzma back. Danny Green at 3.9K. So a guy like him, KCP even picking up the start. These are guys that are very scoring dependent, and they're just kind of risky plays for sure. Again, if their shot's not falling, they can hurt you for sure. But I think KCP is playable. I think he plays close to 30 minutes, maybe in a close game. So at 3.4K, he's definitely a cheap guy I'm considering. Same thing with Alex Caruso, too. There's going to be some more minutes to go around. A guy like Bradley was playing, mid-20s minutes? Yeah, sometimes even in the 30s. So there are some minutes to go around. I think a KCP gets or a good amount of those, but a guy like Alex Caruso has been playing more than Quinn Cook here off the bench. He played 20 minutes in that last one. Probably goes up maybe a bit to like 22 or so, maybe a little bit more. Again, a low usage guy. You're not going to feel great about any of these guys, really, but they allow you to get those studs in there. So a guy like Caruso and KCP, I'm considering. I think KCP would be a little bit safer. I guess I don't even like saying safer with KCP, but he's probably going to play more minutes. But both those guys are playable. Same with Danny Green. There's just some more minutes to go around. But really, you're never going to feel great about playing those secondary Lakers pieces. On the Bulls side, there's some interesting plays here. Like I do like the price here in Levine. We know he's got like 50 fantasy point upside in him when he's playing well. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. If the game stays close, he'll play mid-30s minutes, and this is a pretty low price tag. So Zach LaVine is a guy I'm considering on the slate. Marketing as well. Both those guys are cheaper. I think I would lean towards LaVine if I'm picking between the two, but both are playable. Wendell Carter Jr., just okay. It's a tougher matchup for him at least. Otto Porter, I don't mind the price at 4.3K. He's a guy that, in a close game, I think plays close to 30 minutes. And this is a pretty cheap price tag. We know he does have some upside. So I kind of like Otto Porter as a cheap play here. And that's really it. Guys like Kobe Dunn and Chris Dunn off the bench. The minutes have been going down on them. I don't know if I want to go there. That's really it for me. So let's move on to the late night hammer here. Miami and Denver. So my issue with Miami is they just have basically everyone healthy now. They got Dion Waiters back. They got James Johnson back. They got possibly Justice Winslow back. He's probable. So looks like everyone's back here. And it's a tougher matchup against Denver. Everyone's back. It's honestly kind of a fade for me, the whole team. No one really sticks off the page. They have a lot of bodies now in this rotation. If I was going to play someone, I think it would be Bam Adebayo here at 7.4K. Denver runs big, so they're probably going to need him to play decent minutes. But yeah, 7.4K, I think he's priced about right, maybe a little bit upside. So I think he would be the one guy I would consider. But really, Miami as a whole is kind of a fade for me right now with everyone being back. Then lastly is Denver. So Jokic is someone I'm considering for GPPs because we know the upside is there on him. It's just whether or not he's going to be aggressive or not. Like, he takes games off for sure. So it's a very risky play, but 9.4K for Jokic is really cheap. So this is another kind of buy low opportunity. I love buying low on guys. A guy like LaMarcus Aldridge, who I think is going to be somewhat lower owned because of recency bias, and same with Jokic because of recency bias. 4 straight games of not so good, right? 33, 46, 30, 35. But we know he has 60, 70 fantasy point upside in him. So I kind of like the price here for GPPs, and I think he goes very low owned tonight. Always a low owned Jokic. I do like that. So for recency bias, as a low owned GPP play, I do kind of like Jokic. Jamal Murray seems a bit underpriced as well. Another guy that's kind of only GPPs for me. He's been a little bit scoring dependent this year, but we know another guy that does have pretty big upside. So Jamal Murray and Jokic for GPPs for sure. I am considering. The rest of the guys, no one feels great. Will Barton might be back here, so that definitely takes those secondary pieces out of play. Paul Millsap maybe, because Miami likes running big, so maybe Paul Millsap gets 25 or so minutes. But yeah, really, Mason Plumlee too at 3.4K. I think he's always in play as a cheap option to get those studs in your lineup. A guy that's not going to play big minutes, 15, maybe 20 on the high end, but I think he's pretty safe to get you like 15 or so fantasy points. So I think he's viable as a cheap option, but that's really it. So again, it's kind of Jokic I like for GPPs. Don't mind Jamal Murray either, and then Mason Plumlee as a cheap option that I'm considering. So that's really it. We got, 15 minutes to lock. Let me check, see if we got any more news here. Cavs will start Garland, Sexton, Osman, Love, Thompson. Okay. Celtics, Walker, Smart, Tatum, Hayward, Tice. Yep, that's normal. Magic start Fultz, Fournier, Gordon, Isaac Vucevic. Derrick White available to play. Hornets start Rozier, Bacon, Bridges, Washington, Zeller. Pacers, Brogdon, Lamb, Sampson, Goga, and yeah. So everything looks pretty normal here. So let's get to some questions here. All right. Graham will go off. I repeat, Graham will go off. Graham, Devonte Graham is playable in the mid-range for sure. He's going to play probably 30 or so minutes. So I don't mind him there at all. Kemba at 8.5K. It's a tough call right now for me with Kemba and Malcolm Brogdon. I'm going with Malcolm Brogdon, but it's very close. Playing all cash games is gay. I'm playing Abdul-Jabbar in 100% of my lineups. What are we talking about? College basketball here? DK, what do you think of? Do you think this is solid for cash? Brogdon, Lamb, Parker, Davis, Aldridge, Diallo, Goga, and Hayward, or switch Davis and Diallo for LeBron and Danny Green. What if Diallo's minutes been like? He actually has been playing solid minutes. Okay. I think you're okay with that. I think he's risky, right? You're not going to feel great about playing him, but yeah, I kind of like that. Diallo and Barton, or Barton and Bruno Fernando. I think I go Diallo and Barton, I guess. Kemba or Brogdon. I have Brogdon right now, but it's really close. AD over LeBron. Yes, I think AD is very much viable. No Romeo Langford. What do you think about Sampson? Probably not for me. He's a lower usage guy, so yeah, I don't think we have to go. I mean, he's playable. Like, I think the range of minutes for him is like 15 to 25. So if he gets that high end 25 at min price, doesn't have to do a whole lot to get you there. But yeah, it really, I think I prefer some other value plays. Alex Len, Reddish, or White Pirtle. I'd go White Pirtle there just because it's the better matchup for San Antonio on that side of the ball. So I think I would go there. No one I'm like super excited about in that 2v2, but yeah, I would lean towards the Spurs there. Diallo or KCP? Are you playing KCP? I currently have KCP in my lineup, and that's not something I feel great about because I don't like playing those type of guys, but I have a more stars and scrubs approach right now. So yes, I currently have KCP in my lineup. It's a great match against the Bulls. I don't feel great about it, obviously, but it allows me to get guys like Anthony Davis in my lineup. So yeah. DK, Popeyes or Chick-fil-A? I honestly don't think I've ever had Popeyes, to be honest. I've had Chick-fil-A a decent amount of time, so I got to go Chick-fil-A there. Honestly, I don't think I've had Popeyes, but I got to try that chicken sandwich once for sure. Babe Ruth, or anyone making sense about GPP's 50s will be timed out. We're all degenerates fighting to lose a battle, each their own. Tice or Millsap for cash? That's pretty close. Give me Millsap, I guess. Both are probably going to play 25 or so minutes, so it's really close to those guys. Both, I don't think have huge upside, but yeah, I guess give me Millsap. Can you play don't do it, DK. Can you play LeBron and AD together? Yes, I think you can, but I think if you do, you run it back with like a Zach LaVine or someone on the Bulls side. Because if you're playing both together, I think you're playing the fact that the Bulls keep it close. So I think if you do that, run it back with like Zach LaVine or an Otto Porter Jr. for cheap. How would you rank LMA, Lamb, Smart, and CP3 for GPPs? So I really like. I think LMA has the most upside of those three, followed by Lamb, then CP3, then Smart. KCP will break your heart. Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm getting into. I'm only playing GPPs tonight, too. So, yeah, I know what I'm getting into for sure. He's a very low usage, score-independent guy. If his shot's not falling, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets me 5. So, yeah. KCP or Sampson? I'm going to go KCP there. Again, it doesn't feel good, though. Howard or TJ Leaf? Dwight Howard for sure in that one. Am I the only one that hates putting in Aldridge? Yeah, you don't have to play him. You can. I just love buying low on guys, and I like that people will go off recency bias. It's just a great spot for him. I know he hasn't looked great, but the matchup is just so good here against Atlanta, and the price is the lowest we'll probably ever see on him. So that's why I like him a lot. Can he bust? Yeah, of course. Like no one's guaranteed to crush, but I just like the spot and I like the price for him. Do you think James Johnson can repeat that last performance? So that's the tricky part, right? Miami has now Justice Winslow back too. They got Dion Waiters, so I don't think I would take a shot there on James Johnson. It's just there's so many bodies in the rotation. I want to see what it looks like with everyone healthy. So I don't think I would do it. I have Brogdon, LeBron, and AD in 100% of my lineups. That's bold for sure. I got Brogdon and AD, but don't mind at all. Trae Young can crush in 30 minutes over DeRozan. Yeah, he can for sure. I just don't like that he's limited to 30. If he was going to play normal minutes, then Trae Young was definitely someone I was considering. But it is a tougher matchup and the minutes limit. I think he's only a very risky GPP play, really. I don't think you go there for cash at all. I think he's playable in GPPs, but it does worry me. Hero, Smart, or none on DK. I guess I'll go Marcus Smart of those three. Just with Miami, with everyone back, I'm just worried about Miami. So yeah, give me Marcus Smart there. Okay, me being an idiot aside, you like Love tonight. I think Love is viable at 8.8K. Seems priced about right. I personally would much rather pay the extra $1,200 to get Anthony Davis. But yeah, I think Love's playable at 8.8. KCP will break your heart 99. Yeah, I mean, I know what I'm getting into. Can I stack Sampson and Goga? If you really want to, again, I would much prefer Goga. He has a lot more upside. Sampson, a lower usage guy, but again, I think his minutes range is like 15 to 25. So if Jakar Sampson hits that high end, 25 minutes, I think there's a chance he can get you there. Contrarian play, fade both LeBron and AD. Yes, I think that's definitely viable because there is a decent shot the game blows out. So that is 100% in play here. Who the fuck is this guy? Don't forget, guys, KCP has 30-point upside as well. Yeah, he's a very boomer bust. So if he's knocking down threes, he can get me 30 to 35. If he's not hitting his shots, he can get me 5. So, yeah. Fade AD, play Muscala, easy cash. Mike Muscala. KCP has his best versus Bulls historically for its worth. Yeah, that's something to consider. It's a great matchup. So, how do you end up doing last night? I missed the cash in GPPs. I really thought it was going to be a good night at the beginning of the night with the way it was looking. And it was a process mistake for sure on my part not playing one or two of those Golden State guys. I'm really upset about it because I had Bowman and Pascal originally in my lineup. So still kind of tilting about that. It could have been a huge night for me. I think my original lineup with them had like 380 or something like that. So yeah, definitely still tilting pretty hard about it. Stop posting nonsense on your getting timed up. So who would you replace James Johnson with at 3,700? So 3,700, let's see. Again, you're really not going to feel great about these guys in this range. Now, I personally would go Mason Plumlee just because I think he can get you 15 to 20 fantasy points in limited time. So Plumlee or like Diallo or KCP. Yeah, I'm just worried about the minutes with James Johnson because we got Winslow back and we got Dion Waiters back, and it's just they have like 10 or 11 bodies they can use in this rotation. So I'm just worried about the minutes. Now, if he gets 20 minutes, I think he can get you there. I'm just worried that he doesn't get those minutes tonight. Are you locking in Herter going to play 30 minutes? I'm not locking him in, but he seems like a pretty solid value play for those minutes. I'm putting myself in timeouts. AD and Pope or James and Otto. That's close because I love AD, but Otto Porter compared to KCP, I would take that. So give me LeBron and Otto. Good luck, y'all. I'm going to go get some gains before watching my fave game, Bulls-Lakers. Hey, man, have a good workout. Bulls most likely won't get blown out. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a decent shot. What is the spread in that one? 6.5. So, yeah, Vegas thinks the Bulls can keep it close. So, it's definitely not a lock. It's going to blow out. I think there's a decent shot, but yeah. Anyone know how many minutes LeBron is playing right now? Adebayo, Jamal Murray, or Hero and Butler. I'm going to go Bam and Jamal Murray there. Who would have thought the Warriors end up keeping close and beating the Blazers? Yeah, that was, like I said, I'm still tilting about that. I had Bowman and Pascal originally in my lineup. Those are the two guys I talked about, being the safest for Golden State. And yeah, I didn't sleep much. I honestly didn't sleep much last night because it was, if I did the math, I would have won like $6,000 or something in those tournaments. So yeah, I'm not happy about it. Trying to forget about it for sure. Thoughts on Myers Leonard, Marcus Smart, and Dwight. I think of those three, I'll go Dwight just because bigs have destroyed Chicago this year. So all three are playable with Myers Leonard, Marcus Smart, and Dwight. If you're going to make me pick, I think I would take, I guess, the savings on Marcus Smart and pay a little extra over a guy like Myers Leonard. So, yeah, give me Dwight there. If we got any, there's no more like late breaking news. I'm going to check Twitter one more time. What about Kuzma tonight for getting? Yeah, so I don't think he's a super great play, but 26 minutes against the Bulls, he's playable. I don't think it's a smash spot for him with 26 minutes, but it's a good matchup, and he can get you there in what? He's 5.1K, right? I believe he's 5.1K. Let's see. Yeah, 5.1K. So I think he's playable for 26 minutes for sure. Leonard or Mills? Oh, Leonard or Millsap? I would go Millsap there. I think the minutes will be somewhat similar, but I think Paul Millsap is the better of those two players. So give me Millsap. Yeah, give me Millsap there. But yeah, we got one. What do you think about Tice Optimizer putting him in my lineups? Yeah, he's definitely viable as a cheap play. Again, Cleveland runs big, so I think he should be asked to play 25 or so minutes. They do have Robert Williams back though, so that is a slight concern. But I think Tice is definitely a viable, cheaper option. Good luck, TK, and everyone. Much appreciated. Yeah, good luck, man. Let's win some money tonight for sure. Leonard or Indiana center, I would go Goga there for sure. I just like the upside a bit more. Goga fouled out in 19 minutes and put up 26 fantasy points. It's bigs against the Hornets too, so yeah, sure, there's definitely risk. He's a rookie at 4K, but I think he's one of the better value plays if he stays out of foul trouble. Danny Green, a bounce back game. Again, you're not going to feel great about it, but you can play him. I'm playing KCP. I really don't feel good about it, but it allows me to get Anthony Davis in my lineups and a guy like Jokic, who I think goes very low owned. So that's kind of the way I'm going about it. I wanted to jam in some studs. I like some guys, buying low on some guys. So yeah, we are at lock Let's go over. I can go over some ownership on the guys in the early games. In the early game, let's see. There's only one early game. I only have Brogdon and Goga in that. So let's see what their ownership is. It always takes a second for it to come in. While that loads up, let's see what the slate looks like tomorrow. Wednesday we got a bigger slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games, and oh boy, we got Warriors, Rockets. That's gonna be a headache of a game because there's definitely blowout risk in that one, but also some Warriors guys should crush if DeAndre Russell misses again. That's gonna be a headache, but yeah, we got a bigger slate tomorrow. I will have that up later tonight if you guys are wondering. Also, I'll probably have the showdown slate for NFL up for Thursday. I'll probably have that up tonight. Who's the Thursday game? Chargers, Raiders. It should be a decent one. So, hey DK, hey thank you for all the time and help. These live breakdowns are immense help. Yeah, of course, man. I love doing it. Yeah, really no problem. I love making these videos and live streaming, so no problem at all. KCP about to win us some money. I hope, man. Again, it's something I don't feel great about that I'm playing, but I know what I'm getting into playing them. So Brogdon, I got 37%, and Goga at 61% in the $55 $50K to first tournament. In the $8 one, let's see, we got Brogdon at 36%, Goga at 50%. So I'll take those ownerships. I think Goga was probably my favorite value play. Again, there's no guarantee, but if he stays out of foul trouble, I think he plays 25 minutes. So, yeah. First time hearing your take. Great job, Eddie. Okay. But I think I'm going to hop off here, guys. So, yeah, if you're enjoying the content, really appreciate if you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Again, I'll have that video up for the 8 or 9 game slate. I forgot what it was for Wednesday, up tomorrow or tonight. Be on the lookout for that. Zeller at 9%, not bad. Yeah, I kind of like that. If he gets that high end of his minutes, if he plays low to mid 30s, then I do like that a lot. So, yeah, that ownership is pretty good there for sure. Go with 63%. Yeah, I figured he'd be pretty chalky. But yeah, like I said, thanks again for coming to check out the live stream, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow. So thanks again, and I will see you guys later.